Welcome to Round Hill Radio. Through our conversations, we discover the holy and the ordinary, look for moments of grace and peace, and redefine what we're talking about when we talk about faith. Hi, Lillian.
Hi.
How are you?
This is my first podcast, so excited.
Excited. So, hi, everybody, I am just so thrilled to welcome our new associate pastor, Lillian Steinmeier, to our podcast today. Welcome to Round Hill Radio, Lillian.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome to Round Hill Community Church. Yes, this is very exciting. So she is down in the studio, the crypt we do sometimes call it, but it's now also my office. So I try not to call my office the crypt because that feels a little dark.
You do really good decorating for a crypt.
Thanks. I mean, this is my little studio corner. You know, try to make it positive. But then I'm also organist, so it kind of it goes with the vibe, I guess, of the organist. So today's reading that you are also preaching on is from the book of Esther, so chapter 4, verses 1 through 17. So it's a double pager. So everybody settle in. This is going to be a hot minute. So sit back, grab yourself a cup of tea. Here we go. When Mordecai learned what had been done, he tore his clothes, dressed in mourning clothes, and put ashes on his head. Then he went out into the heart of the city and cried out loudly and bitterly. He went only as far as the king's gate, because it was against the law for anyone to pass through it wearing mourning clothes. At the same time, in every province and place where the king's order and his new law arrived, a very great sadness came over the Jews. They gave up eating and spent whole days weeping and crying out loudly in pain. Many Jews lay on the ground in mourning clothes and ashes. When Esther's female servants and eunuchs came and told her about Mordecai, the queen's whole body showed how upset she was. She sent everyday clothes for Mordecai to wear instead of mourning clothes, but he rejected them. Esther then sent for Hathach, one of the royal eunuchs whose job it was to wait on her. She ordered him to go to Mordecai and find out what was going on and why he was acting this way. Hathach then went out to Mordecai, to the city square in front of the king's gate. Mordecai told him everything that had happened to him. He spelled out the exact amount of silver that Haman had promised Haman?
Usually Haman.
Haman, thank you. Promised to pay into the royal treasury. It was in exchange for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave Hathach a copy of the law made public in Susa concerning the Jews' destruction, so that Hathach could show it to Esther and report it to her. Through him, Mordecai ordered her to go to the king to seek his kindness and his help for her people. Hathach came back and told Esther what Mordecai had said. In reply, Esther ordered Hathach to tell Mordecai, all the king's officials and the people in his provinces know that there's a single law in a case like this. Any man or woman who comes to the king in the inner courtyard without being called is to be put to death. Only the person whom the king holds out the gold scepter may live. In my case, I haven't been called to come to the king for the past 30 days. When they told Mordecai Esther's words, he had them respond to Esther. Don't think for 1 minute that, unlike all the other Jews, you'll come out of this alive simply because you are in the palace. In fact, if you don't speak up at this very important time, relief and rescue will appear for the Jews from another place, but you and your family will die. But who knows, maybe it was for a moment like this that you came to be part of the royal family. Esther sent back this word to Mordecai. Go, gather all the Jews who are in Susa and tell them to give up eating to help me be brave. They aren't to eat or drink anything for 3 whole days, and I myself will do the same, along with my female servants. Then, even though it's against the law, I will go to the king, and if I am to die, then die I will. So Mordecai left where he was and did exactly what Esther had ordered him.
Good job.
Thank you. I made it through. Okay. Did she succeed?
Ultimately, she does.
Okay.
She does not die.
Well, that's good.
And
I feel like I got left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and it's also kind of jumps you into this middle of this story where you're like, okay, you can kind of piece together
Yeah.
that Haman, usually Haman, the only time you say Haman is when you're talking about the cookies.
Yes.
Hamantaschen,
Hamantaschen. Oh, yeah.
which are a Jewish cookie
Yeah.
meant to be like his silly little hat or his ear or something.
Oh, funny.
But you're dropped in the middle of the story where you're like, okay, I get that all of the Jews are going to die,
Yeah.
but you don't really know why.
Right.
Even in the story itself, it's kind of... so the story of Esther, I love it. The story of Esther is simultaneously... This section of it is very serious, life or death serious, but the story itself is presented very comedically.
Okay.
So it's almost a parody or a satire where these things happen for silly reasons or happen in silly ways.
Yeah.
But then you get down to the nitty-gritty of the story and you're like, this isn't very funny at all.
Right. There's really big deal life or death stuff. Like the entire huge population of people are in serious mortal danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're good.
And so this plan that Mordecai has is, Esther, you are the queen.
Yeah.
You can talk to the king and you can get this undone in some way. You can help us and save us.
Okay.
And she is aware of this danger because if she goes to the king without being summoned, she will get killed.
Even though she's the queen.
Even though she's the queen.
Yeah.
And she's the prettiest queen. She was chosen as queen because she was really pretty. And again, to the comedic part, there's this thing where it's like, and all of the beautiful women are gathered up and they spend 12 months putting on makeup.
Oh my
and
word.
perfume.
Oh my gosh.
And then she is the prettiest queen.
Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Pretty much. And so there is this risk, even though she is the queen, to go and talk to the king. Right. And also the king in this story is kind of presented as not really knowing what's up.
Okay.
Because Haman, who we're talking about, is not the king.
Okay.
Haman's just some rich guy who's like, if I pay the king, can I kill all these people?
Uh-huh.
And the king basically goes, yeah, why not?
Whatever. Yeah. So he's not really either not paying attention or doesn't care.
Yeah.
And is just off doing whatever.
Notoriously.
Okay. Got it. Okay, got the lay of the land. So then Mordecai, did Mordecai make this deal or he found out about this deal?
In terms of?
The deal to kill all these people.
So the deal to kill all these people is in part due to Mordecai.
Okay.
Because Haman, again, just nebulous enough.
Yeah.
Haman is rich and Mordecai does not bow down to him. And so Haman gets this personal vendetta against Mordecai specifically, and then he goes, well, I could just kill all of them. And so as the decree is issued and as all of these people find out that essentially a day is set aside where they can all get killed and pillaged, Mordecai goes to Esther.
Got it. Okay, this is the first paragraph is making much more sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't obviously include like
the entire book of it's not the longest book, but also
we were limited in scope in our 52 for the journey, guys. But we do recommend going to your own personal Bible and reading the book yourself.
It's fun.
Okay. Context is beautiful. We love context on here on Roundtail Radio. Perfect. Okay. I have a clear sense of what's happening. Thank you for that. Okay, so as you're diving into it and as you're thinking about what's happening, so as we're now thinking about the shape of it, what jumps out to you about Esther and about what she has to then go and do?
It is a very weird place that she's in because she's the queen, but no one knows she's Jewish.
Okay.
She was told by Mordecai, who is her cousin / adopted father.
Okay.
Not to tell anyone she's Jewish. And so she knows exactly what will happen, but she has to make this choice, which she makes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's like one or two kind of conversations of, you should do this. And she goes, if I have to die, then die I will, I think is the translation that we're using.
Yeah.
And it's quite remarkable because obviously she has the privilege that she has, but
yeah, she's pretty much like, well, then I'll give it up.
Yeah. And so this is kind of the moment where she's like, when she actually does do this, when she goes to the king, she doesn't go right away.
Okay.
She kind of has a more well thought out plan where she like first goes to him and says like, I just want to know if we can like meet for dinner tomorrow or something. And she kind of strings him along a little bit. And he's like, oh, well, of course, my beautiful queen. What can I? Of course I will.
She's a little strategic about it.
And so she's also just very intelligent. And she's using her, for lack of a better word, feminine wiles. Like she's not presented as this. She's part of her power is her beauty.
Right.
And the fact that she is able to harness her.
She's using the tools in her toolbox. Yeah. Got it.
And it's all kind of a part of this. Esther is one of the 2 books in the Protestant Bible named after a woman.
Right.
And Esther's a pretty cool woman.
Yeah.
And also she kind of single-handedly saves the day. Though, obviously, Mordecai also does have a role in...
Well, he also calls it, so... He kind of...
he kind of stepped in it by not bowing.
In the way that he kind of caused it and then asked her to save the day, so, you know. I think we'll give her the credit.
I honestly, yeah.
No, I still remember, I think in middle school being like, wait, there's a really cool lady in the Bible?
There's a couple, we very rarely talk about them.
That saved a bunch of people. That's really cool.
We can also talk about some of the women in the Bible, one of them who kills someone with a tent peg through the head.
What?
We can come back to that one.
Oh, we need to do a series on this whole, okay.
A very short series on women of the Bible.
Lillian will be back on the podcast on interesting women of the Bible. This is going to be a multi-part series.
We'll see.
This is exciting. I love this. So that's very interesting. So our question in our book says, Esther was a brave person. What kind of support did she receive as she prepared to approach the king with her concern? Because she asked her community, right, her fellow Jewish community, to fast with her.
And not just her Jewish community, but also, if I'm not mistaken, the people who wait on her.
Oh, yeah. Along with her female servants.
May or may not be Jewish.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So like her village, so to speak.
Yeah.
Her chosen family.
And there's also like her servants are like relaying this whole conversation for her.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's one of those things where this story, you get some of it. But Esther is really a story about people, both in the story itself and how we celebrate and remember this story.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the holiday Purim?
Like a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
So the story of Esther cannot be separated from the holiday of Purim, which is a Jewish holiday on the 14th day of Adar, which is usually in March, give or take, because lunar calendars. And it can range from a little bit more like Halloween, where it's like costumes and laughter, to like there is a phrase which sometimes is depending on who you're, memorializing this holiday with. Sure. Some people aren't, is where it's you should get drunk enough that you can't tell the difference between saying curse Haman and like blessed be Mordecai, where it's like you should get really drunk right now.
Oh dear.
So it's like this very raucous, boisterous holiday that is reading this, either reading the story of Esther or like doing a comedic kind of performance of Esther. And part of it is just like people being together and infusing this story with like, it's a very serious story.
Right.
But also it is kind of like determinedly laughed at and like just very boisterous and like loud reception.
Yeah. I could see people pretty heavily overacting the Mordecai, like tearing at his cloak and be like,
and Haman is like like garishly evil. And it's, and so it's this story that, I don't know, like there's this, in times where things are hard, you still laugh during Purim. And so, like, the story of Esther is not only people coming together within the book of Esther, but people coming together as they read and remember the book of Esther.
I see. So it's finding that joy within a context of like really great danger and really great sorrow, but finding that humor and finding that like really almost ridiculous level of humor and joy and laughter
and finding
community
strength. And so in this story, she's finding strength in the people that she is with. And there is this, so oftentimes, I don't know if you've talked about, you'll see in like Hebrew Bible especially a lot, you'll see sackcloth, ashes, and it's this kind of idea that like if you look super pathetic, God will like notice you more. Whereas if you're like, there's kind of like a spectacle element. And so like all of these people, when they're putting on sackcloth and ashes and mourning clothes, they're not just like, I'm sad. They're also like, witness my sorrow, both all of the people around me and like God witness my sorrow, because it like does do something. It's not just an act of like passive. I know last week we had Jonah. And so in the story of Jonah, everyone puts on the sackcloth and ashes and God's like, oh, they said sorry. They're fine now. So like it is also, that is also to prove a point.
Okay. It's like it's like the groveling. Act of groveling kind of.
Oh yeah.
Demonstrative thing. I have to say sometimes in these stories, I sometimes wish I could like take the words and pull them apart and like dive into the everyday, like in this section where they're having the back and forth and like this sending the messages back and forth. I wish I could see like her decision making and like how long it took those messages to go back and forth. Like, was it an afternoon? Was it 3 weeks of her just like sitting there in her rooms, like pacing, trying to decide what to do, thinking about her safety versus her people versus her friends versus her trying to figure out which servants she could trust and who she could talk to, how she could figure out how to stay safe and protect her. Like sometimes I wish I could just take all these words and like stretch it and figure out, like dive in and see what all that really was like. It's always so interesting.
Especially because they're letters, that it wasn't just two people talking to each other.
Right. Yeah.
There is this built-in like, how long did it take her to say like, okay.
Like fast for me. It's going to take, 3 whole days. And I'm going to think about it and plan. It's so interesting. So interesting. So as you're preaching on this, what are some highlight points or what are some things you want people thinking about as they're heading into this Sunday, thinking about getting prepped for your message on this?
I think that I was intimidated at first because Esther is it's like such a full meal. Like you can't like take a small bite of Esther.
Sure.
I feel like in my mind, at least, I feel like I have to kind of explain a lot of context.
Yeah.
So I was a little intimidated by...
Right. You can be like, here's 2 verses.
Anyway. But I think I was also intimidated because it is such a story of action. And as much as I have not preached to online or in person, I have not preached to the community yet. And so my first sermon's going to be like, get up. So thank you. And I think just being open to this story that I don't know if people know or people know a little bit of, but I think that I am kind of taking a broader look at the whole book of Esther as well. And like, it is this story. And it is a really great story.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, just kind of being...
Yeah. Finding your way
open,
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird story to like perform so comedically.
Yeah.
But also part of it is just like, it's this like satire of the genre kind of like biblical story.
Yeah.
But it also never says the word God directly in the whole book.
In the whole book?
It's one of 2 books in the Bible.
Really?
That does not say directly or directly reference God.
Yeah.
Or even prayer.
Or even prayer?
No, it like they mourn.
Yeah.
And in this reading, you can kind of see there's this illusion of like Mordecai goes, help will come from another corner, or like help will come somehow, but it's never. That's like probably a reference to like God, but God is not mentioned.
You think that's just the writer of the book making that choice, or
it's weird because there's a like the Greek version has more. They like re-added. They kind of like, I want to say it's the Greek version, like tried to make it more Jewish.
Okay.
By like mentioning her like dietary restrictions and mentioning prayer a little more. But in this original Hebrew text.
Yeah. Nope. Not in there.
And so there's this question of like, is it because it's kind of comedic?
Okay.
Is it because...
And they wanted to leave out...
I don't know.
And they wanted to keep it. Oh, interesting.
So it's this very like, it's a very unique kind of story. Because
interesting. So if they were going to keep, so there was a comedic element, they wanted to almost let it be that way without mentioning any sort of God or prayer, to keep it sort of like, the only word I can think of is safe. I don't mean safe, but you know what I mean? Like it feels more appropriate.
To make sure that like God is not being, I don't know, defiled by the super, super drunkenness.
Yeah.
But there's also this, if you read this story, like, it feels very full of faith and God.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
It's a really, yeah. It's fun.
That is fun and weird.
It's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wow. We have learned things today, people.
Hopefully.
I think so. Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah. Thanks, Lillian.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, actually, you're going to be back here next week.
I will be back here next week.
I know, because Ed's off.
Thank God. He needs a break.
He needs a break. He's been trucking it for a long time. Have we mentioned how glad we are that you've started?
Once or twice.
We're really glad you're here. We're really glad she's here, guys. And now we're delighted to have you here. And you can all see what a delight she is. So we are so glad that you are here listening. Roundtail Radio is brought to you by the friends and members of Roundtail Community Church. For more information, please visit roundtailradio.org.
If you enjoyed this podcast, there are a few things that you can do that would make a big difference to us. Like the video, subscribe if you aren't, and click the notification bell and select all. Thank you.